Nerdy Sports Fan here with your Superbowl pregame. It is here at last. It's been a fantastic season, guys. Really. The offense coming on, yeah, people can complain about it, but seriously, that's what people want to watch, all right? From defense, people like turnovers, they like sacks, they like the big hits, but they don't want to see somebody entirely smothering the other team's offense, all right? They just don't. You know, the hometown team fans might appreciate that, but from a national perspective, I just want to see people score points. I want to see competitive games, all right? So leaning that way has been very good for the league, and you can see it in the playoffs here. The only team that hung its hat almost exclusively on defense got knocked out early, all right? The Bears are going off of a model that really isn't going to work moving forward, okay? They need Trubisky to do better. But either way, in this game, we have the Patriots. I know, boring, they're there all the time. They're fantastic, okay? You have the best quarterback probably in the history of the game in Tom Brady, with one of the best coaches in the history of the game, Bill Belichick, just churning out another winner. And then you have the Rams. Young, fresh, new, built like the league wants teams to be built now. Interesting. So Sean McVay is a great offensive mind, came from the Shanahan coaching tree, which people don't give enough credit to. And he has set up a team of young, diverse talent. And there's so much offense there that nobody knows what to do with. So this is going to be very interesting. You have very bright coaches on either side, their primary focus being on opposite sides of the ball. You have extremely talented quarterbacks on both sides, whereas one is far more experienced than the other. And some diverse rosters on either side with very different game plans. So let's break it down here. On the Patriots side of things, they like to control tempo. Now they do this with short passing. So everything runs through Brady, which is smart. You run your team's system through the best player on the team. You focus on where your talent is. And everything stays close to the line of scrimmage with Edelman, Hogan, and Gronkowski, James White, and Rex Burkhead all getting passes. Sony Michel mixed in very now and again, mostly as a running back for them. But everything stays close to the line of scrimmage. The offensive line has been changed and upgraded this year through some leftover parts shopping throughout the league, and just development of homegrown sort of talent. They're all names that nobody really knows or cares about, but they work extremely well together because schematically they know how to match up against other defensive schemes. Prep work, very important to the Patriots. They tend to make average players on other teams very good on their team because simply they only ask you to do what you're good at. Yeah, weird, right? They just work with what they have better than everybody else. They adjust their scheme to fit the talents of their players and tell people just do what your job is, don't think about anything else, and it'll all come out fine. And because they have the best quarterback that's ever played the game, it usually does because they just need to make one less mistake than the other team. Now, on the Rams side of things, they also love to control the tempo. Now, this has changed from the beginning of the season for them. It's not been consistent. At the beginning of the year, they looked like the reemergence of the greatest show on turf. They were all over the place. Well, Cooper Kupp went down, and they had to change their approach. So they added C.J. Anderson, and now it is just punch people in the mouth with the running game every game. And it's working great. All right? They've got two very good running backs in the backfield, one far more talented than the other, and Gurley. But because they have those two options and a very stout offensive line, They are manhandling people at the point of attack and getting what they want. They're getting exactly what they want. They're dominating time of possession. They're dictating the tempo to the other team. And if anybody decides to load the box against them and just focus on the running game, well, guess what? Jared Goff's got a cannon for an arm, and they have just enough talented wide receivers in Robert Woods and Brandon Cooks to do some serious damage downfield. Now, some other names come up in the receiving game here and there, but those are the main two. And personally, I think Woods is the more important of the two, as he's also used as a possession-type receiver. So that's really the engine that drives this offense. Defensively, the best player on New England is Stephon Gilmore. He's the only one on this squad that made the Pro Bowl. It's kind of rare for New England to have a corner in the Pro Bowl because they're more about scheme than they are about individual player talent. But Gilmore is an exception. They move him around the field against the best guy all the time. He just kind of takes that guy out of the game and lets Belichick then scheme to remove the next biggest threat. And people, they just say, hey, your third and fourth option are going to have to beat us. On the Rams side of things, everybody was expecting this defense to be far better than it has been. So when you have Ndamukong Suh get added to Aaron Donald, you assume the defensive line is going to get after it. When you have Marcus Peters added to a defense that already had Aqib Talib, you assume that they're going to be locking down wide receivers. Well, a few injuries, some realizations of players not having it anymore later, you realize that the only real talent you have on this defense is Aaron Donald. Now that guy's a man-child, though. 19 sacks in the regular season from a defensive tackle position? Are you kidding me? He beat out the best defensive ends and edge rushers in the league when he's getting consistently double and triple teamed. The guy's a freak, all right? Because of that, I think there's a bit of an edge here for the Rams. Whereas New England, their best player on defense is off on the perimeter. And his talents do not attack the strength of the offense for the Rams. His talents go against the wide receivers. The strength of this offense is the running game. Well, Aaron Donald is right up the middle. And what does history tell us about what you need to do to Tom Brady in the playoffs in order to win? Pressure up the middle. Now, we said earlier that the offensive line for the Patriots was upgraded, but again, they're good because of scheme, not because of individual talent. And when you have somebody like Aaron Donald, who can take on 2 to 3 blockers and still get home, you need somebody who's talented to stop that man. They just don't have it. And nobody on the middle of the offensive line from the Patriots can handle Aaron Donald. Not even with help. The man is going to get home. All right? He's going to maybe not sack and drive Brady into the turf, but he's going to do enough to create pressure up the middle to make Brady off time. Just enough times for their offense to be able to dictate the pace of the game rather than the Patriots. That's what I think the difference is in this game. Defensive strengths going up against the offensive strengths. So I think it will be very close. And I think it's going to be the point, like Vegas says, 2.5 point spread only. 1 or 2 big plays, either way, will make the difference in this game. Either team comes up with 1 or 2 big defensive plays, they're going to win. Either team comes up with an offensive play that shouldn't have made it home but did, they're going to win. 1 or 2 blown calls in favor of one team will swing the game. They are evenly matched. This is what the league wants. It's what America wants. Different teams playing against each other as frequently as possible. And as soon as Brady retires, we'll be able to see that. But for now, it's going to be age versus youth. And just like in 2001, when Brady won his first Super Bowl against what was perceived to be as the dominant quarterback of the age, I see it happening again. Just not in his favor. I think Jared Goff's going to get his because he has the right coach and the right talent surrounding him in order to do it. It's going to be a great game. I got maybe 1-2 points towards the Rams. So if I was betting, I'd bet the Patriots. But I think the Rams are going to win. It's going to be a fun one. Enjoy it. It's a great end to the season with this game. Click like and subscribe for the content. Check out my off-season material coming up in the coming weeks. And my keys to victory for each team. We'll see you next video, guys.